tuned into By Any Means podcast. I'm your host, the Street Consultant. My co-host, the pod father himself.
What's happening?
We have today a very, very special guest, Miss Monique Turley, owner of Lux Face and Body and Spa. Graduated from USF, Public Relations Communications degree, member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She did 15 years in the banking industry before she became the owner. So we just great to have her today. And as y'all know, the makeover, the fit, trapping vintage on the shirt today.
I like that one. That was a good choice.
That was a good choice. I mean, he didn't even give me no options. He just was like, "This what you gonna wear?"
For the hat and the shirt.
With the hat and the shirt.
Find
and
some
like,
shoes and pants.
Find some shoes. I was like, the shoes not even on camera, so it don't matter. So, without further ado, I'll let you tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on this podcast.
Absolutely.
I was like really flattered when you asked me to be a part of it. Little old me. But yes, I am the owner of Lux Face and Body Spa. I actually, I probably didn't include it in my bio, but I also have owned a photo booth company since 2008. And I got out of that with COVID. But that was a really, really busy time for me, starting at the height of a recession. I was very scared when I started that company. It's called Shutter Booth Photo Booths. You probably heard of us.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
So we started with one little photo booth, and then we grew it to 3, then 5, then 7, then 10. So imagine having 10 different photo booths out at the same time, and all the hosts that are manning the booths are calling you like. So it was really good money, but my heart wasn't in it anymore, and I was looking to get out of it, and COVID kind of drove us out of it. So I do still have it. I just don't answer any of the calls or any of the leads.
You will not get through.
So when you say photo booth, do you mean like the photo booths like they have at the mall? Or?
No, not that. It's the same technology, but higher quality.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why, I went to my cousin's wedding in 2007, and she had the bougiest wedding you could ever think of. And in the back of the room, there was this photo booth, and I was like, why would she do that? I go in this photo booth, and I was like,
I get why she did that.
I gotta do this.
I'm bougie too now.
I was like, this is such a good idea. And so I convinced my fiance, and we went up there, signed. I first researched like photo booths. I was like, what does it take to buy one? So I ended up not being able to find one that was as elegant as that one. So I licensed into owning Shutter Booth. I was the 3rd licensee. They now have, I think, 46 different licensed owners across the United States.
That's what's up.
So they're doing their thing where they probably still are. But yeah, it really grew. It took off. I think we did $500,000 in sales our second year, which was crazy. Because back, like I said, we started during the recession, but back then you can charge $1,000 for 3 hours of service. Now you might be able to get $350, $400. So it's really, really went down. Too much competition entered, and it was just so stressful. Like my weekends were never mine because it's
always events on the weekends too. So.
And as long as a booth was out, then my heart was pitter-patting. Like, I'm just really big on quality. So if something is not being done right, I'm going to stress about it. And if my phone wasn't ringing, I was like, why isn't my phone ringing? Is everything okay? And so I was looking to get out of it, and COVID kind of stopped it. And then that time I had another thing that I had seen in passing. My cousin got body contouring done in Atlanta. And I was
big thing nowadays.
Big thing, non-invasive body contouring. And I was like, this is cool. Maybe I can do this. What license do I need to do this? And so I learned that I needed to be an esthetician to do that. And I enrolled in esthetician school, fell in love, and opened up a spa. I started, low, and I guess we could talk through that, but I grew it to where we are today, a 2,100 square feet spa space.
That's awesome. So are you originally from Tampa?
I'm not. I'm from Chicago.
Hey.
Yes. I'm from Chicago. Grand Rapids, Chicago. I guess you can say both.
Okay.
I came here 20 years ago with HSBC Bank. I was a corporate trainee and development manager with them. And then I got laid off in 2007. And then that's what started the photo booth company.
Okay.
And so then we grew to this. But I remember when I got laid off, I was like, I should just move back home.
Right.
But That weather, I was like, that's
I
okay.
do not miss it. I don't miss it at all.
I'm good.
I don't miss it at all.
I'm not doing it. And so I did it. And so I stayed. And I'm so happy. I've been in here 22 years now in February.
Wow. Okay. And then I see you went to college again at USF.
I did. So my son graduated from Hillsborough in 2010. And I was in corporate America, you know, all that time. I had stopped going to college. I was going to Chicago State University. Okay. And I needed a job, you know, because I had a kid. And so they promoted me to come down here, and they pay for me to go to school. But when can you really go to school full time when you're working full time, right? Yeah. But when I got laid off from them and I started 𝕬𝕬𝕝 and I dropped my son off at FAMU, I said, "You're not gonna beat me getting your degree. That's not gonna happen." And so I enrolled, and I was like, I was a straight A student. I was like, I got to do this. And so I beat him getting his degree.
Wow,
Mama
got you. You let Mama get you.
Yes, I did. Got to lead by example. So that's how I ended up at USF and majoring in public relations, which was great.
Wow, and that's where, as well as you pledged?
I did grad chapter with 𝕬𝕑𝕝𝕝.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So how is it being the owner? Is it still that same type of stress, or now because your heart's in it?
It's a little bit different. I mean, it's always still stressful. No, it's not as stressful. I mean, like, okay, I'm gonna explain the photo booth to you real quick. So imagine like a host comes and picks up the equipment, right? Okay. And our events, I negotiated to have 75 miles. So nobody could open up a shutter booth in 75 miles. That meant that we could be doing an event in Orlando, Sarasota, Clearwater. Yeah. We could be anywhere.
You were the only one they had to contact.
Yeah, it was 3 photo booths when I first started. Wow. So when that happened, we were everywhere. Miami, Fort Myers, we were everywhere because there were no other photo booths anyway. They would come to my garage, pick up the equipment, and imagine they needed all this to set the photo booth up. And I mean, the booth, the paper, the ink, everything. And if they were missing this, then I had to drive them this. Like if they were missing this little piece,
take them all the way.
Then they needed this to be complete. I had to go take it to them. So I felt like I was like a chicken with my head cut off and doing that business. So no, it's not the same stress because I feel like when I'm done here, the things that I stress about are just like growing the business, not necessarily about what's the client happy or how did they do, did the pictures print out right? Am I gonna have some technical issues when I go to look up these pictures on the laptop? So it's not the same kind of stress. And I absolutely love aesthetics. Okay. When I determined that in order to do body contouring, I needed a esthetician license, I was like, why haven't I been doing this? It was like, what, God? We got some talking to do because...
So that takes me back to a question I have. So that Chicago girl, young Chicago girl, what did she want to be growing up?
A public relations. I wanted to be like the PR manager for a major corporation. Yeah. I just always see myself in public relations, writing, editing, styling, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And then just once you got into this, it was like no more of that. I love this.
I absolutely did. So I started. A lot of people ask me then, how did you were so successful coming right out of school? Right. I started acting like I already had the spot when I was in school. So I created my Instagram when I was in school. I started like. I would just find like Google images, never stealing stuff from other people.
Like the stock photos. Yeah,
stock photos, just general stuff, finding like information that was helpful, benefits to facials. I started posting that early on. And so I remember when I was looking for a space, I was like, when I found a little space in the back of a waxing salon, I was like, this place looks familiar. And it was a place where I had got my first Brazilian wax ever, which was crazy. She was renting a little room in the back of her waxing studio because it was empty. And so I started there and I started just doing facials and body contouring. So people kept asking me to wax them. And in school, I was like, I have no desire to wax. I don't want to look at a woman. I don't want to even see it. I don't want to do it. But people kept asking me to wax them. Yeah. And I was like, I did not pay attention during waxing. Like, I had no desire to do it. So when it came around, I didn't want to do it. Well, anyway, I went back to my school and learned how to wax because I didn't pay attention during school.
Wow.
And then I opened up waxing, and then I also opened up the V-Steam, which a lot of people were also not doing in Tampa.
Correct.
So that took me from that little room and the little hallway behind it for the V-Steam, being booked out at least a month in advance. I didn't have no, appointments. People couldn't get in with me.
Wow.
So then I found and I always thought South Tampa was where I wanted to be. And it's so sad. I was like, I'm going to service all these white people, and white people are going to be my #1 clients.
Yeah.
And it did absolutely not turn out that way whatsoever. So sad of me to even have thought that way. Like, I didn't even give my black people a chance. I was like, and it wasn't really that. It was me not wanting to service black people.
You just knew where the money was, what the market
I didn't
tells
think that
you.
they knew. Like, I never was into facials growing up, and I felt like I was around a lot of people. I wasn't into that thing, that type of stuff. And so I didn't think that they would know or would be beneficial or they want the right market. And so, no, they filled my books up. And so I found this new space right by Laurie Park Zoo. It was 700 square feet. It was a little house. And I started expanding my services. I didn't want to do too many things at one time. I would always learn, master something, and then add it to my service menu. And then I was booked 3 months in advance. So you couldn't get an appointment with me for 3 months. And I was like, okay, it's time to hire somebody and expand. Yes. And so I was there 1 year, and then I've been here almost 2 years. And I have 2 estheticians. I have a lash artist and 4 massage therapists.
Wow, awesome. So, do you think, going back on what you said, like the customer base, not thinking kind of like our people were into it, do you think it's more of now a wave, or do you think we were kind of always into it? You just kind of tapped into it.
It's okay. We were always into it, and I had no idea. It was just me. I didn't know. Now, there is still some education that is necessary because now we aren't into it like the South Tampa market. Okay. But we certainly do take self-care very seriously in our community. And I'm always there to educate and provide benefits of why self-care is important, not only from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint as well.
Okay. So,
go ahead.
I know I have older, younger daughters.
Yes.
OC has some younger daughters as well. Do you do any training or education maybe to the youth to try to teach them more about, their bodies and facial and skin and stuff
I
like
love that. I actually had, I try not to talk about and do stuff before I'm completely ready. But last year I had posted I wanted to do an event called Girl Code, where we'd have different people come in and speak about different topics like personal hygiene, being on the internet, how to deal with bullies. I wanted to have different speakers. I was never able to set that up, but that's something that I still want to do.
We definitely should.
And I do want to do it, and I will do it once I get my bearings. I was still trying to grow my spa, and then try and do that was a little bit too much. But it is something that I want to do. I still have all the, the notes for it, so I definitely will be doing it.
Okay.
But we do have services for tweens and teens. So we do mother-daughter facials.
Okay, wow.
We do spa parties. Even young gentlemen come in with severe acne issues we're able to treat, and we're able to cater to a younger crowd, as necessary.
Okay. Well, the question I wanted to ask, just getting into, your education a little bit, how difficult was it to you or for you to, or was it difficult at all to complete, how do you pronounce it, esthetician school?
It wasn't that hard at all. The program, it depends on where you go. Now, you probably heard since I was at HSBC, I was a learning and development manager, so education and training is easy, and it comes easy to me, and I'm very passionate about it. Depending on where you go, the hours that are necessary to become an esthetician vary. So in a state like Florida, we only require 260 hours. In a state like Illinois, it's almost 1,000 hours.
A lot.
So, in like Georgia. So we have very low hours. So that's one of the things that I do also advanced training here for estheticians and people. I have RNs, nurse practitioners coming here to take advanced training in body contouring, waxing, even V-steam for holistic services. So it's not hard. It's a short program, but I also feel that we do not come out prepared and ready to actually.
See, and that's what I was going to ask. I mean, I guess that's why I was asking, because you always see, like, in our community, you always hear of a young lady going to esthetician school, but it always seems like nothing happens after she goes to esthetician school.
Yes.
And why do you think that is?
Well, it's a couple of different things. A lot of people lack confidence in their own abilities. A lot of people aren't want to be bosses and not workers. When I feel like you should be a worker first and learn the ropes and then become a boss. But they want it all first. They want it fast.
Right.
Instant gratification.
Yes.
Instant success.
Yeah. And then they aren't prepared. They didn't realize when they went to esthetician school how much money it takes to, like I was just asking y'all, how much money it takes to get all this equipment. They didn't realize that they needed all of these things. And then you talk about like just one thing. Okay, so when you become an esthetician, you want to bring on a line that you're going to carry. When I say line, I mean the skincare products that you're going to carry. Yes. And so a lot of times the opening order, just to even order from a line, is $1,000 or $1,500. And that's a big expense for somebody that's, young and not really ready. And so I went through 4 or 5 different lines before I decided which one works best for me and my clients.
Right.
So little things like that, and then everything adds up. So
how did that? How was that process of finding the right products to use that serviced you well? Was it like just like, what was it? It
was very frustrating. I mean, obviously because I'm spending money. I think first I was gonna go with this line. I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus. I'm not gonna name any names. But I went for one line first, and I spent $1,500 for their opening order and got the products. And I went for that line because it was cute, like the aesthetics of it. It was a really cute branding, packaging, and I was like, this would look beautiful on the shelves. It was trash. It was trash.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
No, at all. At all. It was trash. And so I finally found, I now carry 𝕬𝕟 Clinical Skincare, which is really, really good. The frustrating thing that I find in the world of aesthetics is a lot of brands don't have a lot of things for higher Fitzpatrick, and when I say that, that's the color of your skin. Higher Fitzpatrick is a person that doesn't get burned easily by the sun.
Right.
So that would be us. And so
y'all heard that? That's my new nickname.
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. Hi Fitzpatrick.
Yes. So they lack a lot of, like 𝕬𝕟 Clinical, for instance. They carry all these BB creams, which is a tinted moisturizer basically, and one dark color for us. Yeah. And that's it. Everything else is light. So that's a frustrating part of it, and I'd like to change that one day, but that's not like my primary focus.
So do you see yourself getting it? Because I'm guessing it's kind of like hairdressers, kind of the same type of deal. You got to find your products. But I know like some hairdressers, they'll move into the product side and start making their own
private label,
because they can't really get. Do you see yourself kind of moving into that field?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah. Okay. That's what's up.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask, just moving into your experience a little bit, if you can. Of course, you don't have to get specific or say any names or anything, but I imagine, being an esthetician, you come across some pretty, I guess you say, like disgusting things. Like, what was like maybe somebody came in with like a skin condition or something, and you was just like, ooh, hold on, I wasn't prepared for that.
Well, like facial things, that doesn't bother me because I'm Dr. Pimple Popper all the way. Like I
can watch it. I can watch it, but I can't.
That's beautiful to me. Like
I can watch it. I can't watch it, but I can't be the one squeezing. Like I don't want that on my. It looks like it smells bad. All of that.
It depends what it look like. It depends what it look like for me to watch it or not. It's a couple times
it makes you queasy. It doesn't make me queasy. I be all up in there. I got some like magnification glasses that magnify the skin by 1,000 something.
So you
So I
be
can
up in
see
there.
every little thing in your skin.
It look like
I
a
know what
mountain.
sides you sleep on, your face. I know if you've been picking. I know
Gee.
what products you're probably using or are not using.
Wow.
So that the face stuff doesn't bother me. It's probably the lower extremities.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even bother me either. It's just those hard conversations that you have to have with people.
True.
Like I will tell women, I'm like, you got a hemorrhoid. Right. So if I'm doing a wax, they didn't even know that they had one. That helps. Or just the part about making sure that you're fresh before you get a wax.
Yeah.
Getting them in that
What's
mindset.
that?
So
What
I
you
gotta
got
ask
going on?
that?
What you ate
They
today?
don't come in fresh, when they.
Well, I typically will send them right to the restroom and give them white. Here you can go in the restroom and clean yourself up, and when you're ready, come on in, and that helps a lot.
Is there, since we got to talk about it, I'm going to
Yeah.
give y'all some jewels. So is there something they can do at home, maybe they got something laying around that they can use to kind
Well,
of.
they can go on Amazon and order boric acid suppositories.
Look, I ain't even never heard of that, so I know this got to be a jewel somewhere.
Yeah. Some people don't know about it, but it's pretty well known now. Boric acid suppositories help with your pH, so it keeps your pH balanced. They can do that. Use wash that is for your lower body. Don't use Dial and all that down there. I mean, Dial actually might be okay because
What's the
it's antiseptic. Just not stuff with too much fragrances that's going to throw your pH off.
what's the how about the one that's got all the controversy right now, the black owned one?
Honey pot?
Yeah, honey. They
There-
still, because I
I-
know they moved their products from, I guess, what was it? They was using all natural products, but
Yeah,
now
now they got added all of these words that you can't pronounce on the back.
correct.
Yeah, I only bought when she first was in Target to support, but I actually bought it twice, and the pumper didn't work, and so I was like, I'm not buying that again. So, I don't use it anymore.
The pumper.
Fix that pumper. Fix that pumper.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome,
crazy.
Awesome. OC? Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So moving on to the future. I know you don't like to talk too much into it, but can you kind of give us a glimpse of kind of where you have plans for your spa to get to?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely see. So as I learned when I was in the photo booth business, how easily they made it for me to be a business owner, licensing into Shutter Booth. It was like a plug and play business.
Correct.
They gave me all the framework. I mean, they had it.
It was like a franchise, basically.
Yeah, franchise, but I don't have to, licensing and franchising is a little bit different, but kind of work the same. So I don't have to give them a royalty, all of that. I don't have to submit my numbers
But
to them.
the structure and the setup on the back end was
it was pretty much there.
There for you.
Yes,
Right.
and I just paid a licensing fee every month, and Shutter Booth became a brand recognized name in the world of the event industry with weddings and bar mitzvahs and proms. And so I would definitely use that same methodology for Luxe Face and Body. I would definitely like to open up a Luxe Face and Body in another city, especially my hometown, which is Grand Rapids, Michigan, and then another one in Chicago, Illinois. So that is one thing that I plan on doing is licensing. So somebody that is not really good at business could come right in and have everything, the protocols, all the vendors they need, all the equipment that they need. They would have my one-on-one training. It will pretty much work like a licensing agreement, and they would be able to simply plug and play and operate a business.
I think more that's what we need more of, like the small successful business owners who have that model. Like instead of everyone just trying to be competition and repeating the same product or same process. Like you said, I have something that works. I have a model that works. Franchise is plug and play and go. But I just feel like so now everybody wants their own name on it.
Oh God, it's so. I know that every type of business industry has their little cutthroat things that happen. I know photographers have their little things. Aesthetics is the same way. And it used to get under my skin when I would see people like basically going on my website, copying my whole menu and then opening up a business. I'm like, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Now it's just, I don't even pay it any attention. So I'm a big advocate of community over competition.
Right.
I have a group that we do every quarter. We call it the esthetician or beauty and pro meetup. We stopped it from just being esthetician because now we have hairdressers, we have makeup artists, estheticians, lash artists, and we all go to a different place in Tampa every 3 months. One, just for culture, we want to know what's out in Tampa, like what's out and about.
Right.
And then we talk about different things, like what are you struggling with this month? Like, are you struggling with marketing? Are you struggling with getting more clients? Are you struggling with whatever you're struggling with? We talk about it and we help each other. So I'm a big advocate of community over competition.
Okay.
That's
Well,
awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
so how did you come up with the name for your company?
Oh Lord, I wish I could change it because everybody thing is Lux now. Oh God, I know I wanted something like elevated, like luxury, like
Elegant.
something. Yes, and I
You
was just
accomplished
like,
that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I just said, okay, just simply Lux Face and Body. And then the school that I'll be opening shortly.
Hey,
will be called
okay.
Lux More Academy.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we be there on that opening day?
Absolutely, it'll be right next door.
Say
All right,
less.
all
I'm
right.
there.
Say
I'm in there.
less. Say less. I mean, that's you have anything else you like to share? Maybe an experience you had during business. I get this. This is a question I had because you were in baking 15 years. That's kind of corporate America. How was that being a woman of color coming up through those ranks in corporate America?
Oh, we can have a whole discussion about
Yeah.
that because I think it was not easy whatsoever. But I think I came up at a time when we learned you need to go to work.
Right.
And there was no excuses. There was no mental health break days. There was no, I'm sick, my finger hurt, I broke my toenail. It was none of that. And so I took work very seriously. I never missed a day in 15 years except for when my mother passed away.
Wow.
Never missed a day. Not one, never called in, never was late, never. That was my work ethic. And I see that is not happening today. It feels a lot like people don't want to work. People want to make, like we were talking about earlier, like instant money. They don't want to put the footwork in. I feel like those years in corporate America helped me to be a better entrepreneur. It taught me how to deal with different personalities, how to meet deadlines, how to work my way up the corporate ladder, and the same thing that I'm trying to do now in the aesthetics world, working my way up. Like I see myself speaking at large corporate events for estheticians in the future, and you have to start somewhere. I can't just go walk up to the international aesthetics competition and say, "Hi, I'm Monique. I want to be a speaker."
I think you can now. I think
I
your
don't
resume.
know.
I think your resume,
I
at least
don't
here in
think I'm
Tampa, is.
I've only been an esthetician for this going on 18, 19, so I'm going on 5 years.
Okay.
So I think maybe a couple more years I will be ready because I want to know, I don't want there to be, maybe you might be able to ask me one question I don't know the answer
Right.
to, but I want to know the answer to pretty much everything that you ask me if I'm going to be up there speaking in front of people. But yeah, it wasn't easy being a woman of color, but I did extremely well. I felt like I got a promotion every year, and I mean, I think I left HSBC making about 80 grand, and then that was in 2007. So I was like,
Hey,
I thought I
okay.
was doing pretty good.
That was money.
Yeah, back then,
Right,
right?
right.
back then,
And
that
I
was
look back
money.
at it like, dang, that wasn't no money. That was horrible. But yeah, I think it's necessary that work ethic, working somewhere, even if you like are in the aesthetics world or whatever world you in, work for somebody and learn the steps that are necessary to be an entrepreneur.
Correct.
Because Gen Z, they is not where it's at.
No, it's not. It's not.
They don't. It's Gen Z that's like the teenagers, right?
Yeah.
18
Look,
to
don't give me the
21.
line. I don't
Some-
even know.
I'm
They,
Gen X. What are you?
Are
you a millennial? How old
I
are
was
you?
born in '86.
86?
I see. I think he's a
35.
millennial still too. I know I'm a millennial,
Yeah.
but
I think y'all might be millennials. I think y'all
Okay.
right there, millennial and Gen
Oh, okay.
X. But the Gen Z is the one.
Oh yeah,
That's
I think we might got one in the building behind the scenes. Shout out to my producer, Ethan.
You mentioned that you felt that corporate America helped prepare you better for entrepreneurship. That's something that I typically advise people to do, is try to work for, some type of corporate company before starting their own business for those exact reasons.
Yeah.
So would you say that is something that maybe not every entrepreneur, but entrepreneurs moving forward, that's something that they should do?
Absolutely. Work somewhere,
Right.
just to get a baseline of like the things that I was saying. And when you do become an entrepreneur, you don't have to reinvent the entire wheel.
Right.
You can think like corporate America thinks. How would they handle the situation when it was time to grow or discipline an employee,
Right.
or whatever, or how, like, I remember I took this from HSBC, was our SMART goals. Like when it comes to my estheticians, make the goals specific, measurable, attainable, SMAR, reachable, and trackable.
Yep.
So that you can go back and track it, and teachable as well. But yeah. So like taking little things that you learn from corporate America into the business that you want to own.
Okay. And then what is your, let's say, favorite and least favorite part about owning a spa?
My favorite part is the results. Like, I almost want to post like the results, like before the results happen, because
Right.
I'm so excited about the progress. So we can be doing, typically when a client comes in, especially if they're having hyperpigmentation on their skin and they want to lighten it up, it's not going to be a one and done type of deal. But they might see a lot of progress after that first treatment. When they come back to their second one, I take the picture. I want to post the picture.
Right, right.
But we really ain't ready yet.
We ain't ready yet, right,
We really
right.
ain't there yet. But I'm so excited about it. So that is my favorite part, seeing the progress and the improvement of people's faces and bodies, because we get rid of fat too. So that's my favorite part. I would say my least favorite part is the accounting behind it, like trying to do all of it behind the scenes,
Yeah.
I love numbers.
Well, not me. Trying to just, do all that back end, because, one of the things that I learned, and I didn't learn this from corporate America, the last place that I rented was, she was the owner of Beer Garden, 1849 Beer Garden. It's on Sly, and she was just a smart lady. And one day we were talking, and she was like, "What's your cost per service?" And I was like, "What?"
No.
I had absolutely no idea. So running those numbers back, taking every single bottle of cleanser, moisturizer, lotion, my time,
How much
gauze.
how many services you can get out of one bottle?
Absolutely. And then you divide that into the, average it out into the cost per service. But I had no idea. And if you don't know that, you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going. So, just, learning that. That was the hardest part, and by far is the hardest part for me right now, is tracking and the numbers.
Yeah.
So, hire a CPA.
And you said
I got you. You can hire me.
Yeah.
The street consultant.
And you said you do male services too, correct?
We do. We do
Okay.
male waxing. We do the V-steam. You can do an anal steam if you're a man.
I don't think I'm with that one.
Stop lying.
Why not?
He lying.
I'm all right.
He lying.
Y'all be so
He lying.
hesitant.
He lying.
Y'all are so, I don't know why y'all so sensitive about that.
It's not sensitive. It's just, why I need to blow smoke up it?
Why not? Why not? Go ahead, man. Give
Well,
it a try.
It's amazing, first of all. And think of the herbs, they get absorbed. Okay, so back in the day, we didn't have penicillin and nausea medicine and
Facts.
all
I
that.
don't really take
Medicine,
I
yeah.
ain't no medicine guy either.
So even when women come in here for V-steam services, a lot of them are having real problems. People are having problems with fertility. People are having problems with their pH, or people have been through trauma, sexual trauma. And that experience is a release of soul ties, and the herbs that we're putting into the pot it acts as medicine. So the herbs get absorbed into your skin, and whatever gets into your skin is going to go into your bloodstream.
Right.
And when at that point, it's going to act like medicine. So a V-steam is not only for your vaginal area or your anal area. It's also for your whole entire body. It's an improvement for, it just makes you feel better. I feel like I get a B12 shot when I do one.
I feel like she just sold her service to one or two of us, and it ain't me.
You see, he said us.
So
He
y'all
talking about
do the
himself. He
math.
talking about himself.
Somebody
bro.
coming back.
I'm gonna tell you
ain't
what
no
though.
steam.
But
If you,
male waxing is becoming bigger. The manscaping
Now,
down there.
I can't do that.
Not doing it?
I can't. No.
No,
I'll take some
say
clippers
I
to
feel
that
like
thing
I'm
with the
about to go that
quickness,
way,
but
though, because the
see?
shaving thing ain't working.
look,
bro.
it starts with waxes, ends with booty hole steaming.
No. Well, if it's like what she just said, sign me up.
Sign me
Yeah.
up.
But
It's
yeah,
awesome.
No. We're not gonna go there.
And then I love that I have about 10 moms right now who bring their young daughters in here to get waxing because they're at the age where it's time to have those conversations. Like you have hair down there, it becomes itchy. They don't want them to shave because of the traumatic experience they went through as the moms,
Yeesh.
shaving and getting the razor bumps. Knit. And so they are bringing their daughters in monthly, and they're learning from I waxed a girl that was 11 the other day, and she took it like a soldier, better than some of these grown women that come in and be acting a fool, hide behind the covers, and then she was just laying there like a champ.
They be hiding under the cover.
Oh God! Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. They be acting a fool. I swear to God.
That's hilarious.
So yes, these young girls are getting it. It's beautiful for them to know what that is like when they get older. It's not going to be anything new for them. I didn't get my first wax until I was 30 something. So yeah. And they're 12. They're way ahead of me.
That's young. That makes me feel some type of way. Like that scares me. I got girls that young.
Yeah, yours are what, 9 and 8?
11.
Oh,
yeah, it's getting ready to be time.
Yeah, so I'm like, hold on now. Shit, hold on.
Those conversations are necessary.
I'm gonna let her mama handle that. I don't want to talk about nothing going on right there.
What would you say is your number one seller, your service here?
Facials for sure.
Facials?
Yeah, facials and body contouring is probably right behind it.
Is that what you kind of want to be known for? Is the facials and the body contouring, or?
Yeah.
Because I guess you did say you don't really like the waxing part anyway.
No, I like waxing. I
You
got
done grew to
goddess
love
hands.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like when I wax somebody, I do it like I would want somebody to wax me. I'm not all rough and aggressive and you want to put the pressure to absorb the pain, all of that. And so people come back to me over and over because, you go to a European wax center and their focus is time. Like they got to get you in and out of there in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the supervisor coming and knocking on the door. And we don't focus on time. We focus on quality. Face and body. So, and I think people feel that. And so they want to repeat the experience.
Definitely. My last question is, when is the Netflix series coming out? Netflix series.
What's that?
Netflix. You don't watch Netflix?
The Netflix series.
He asked me if you're gonna start a show on Netflix.
I mean, I would love to.
Okay.
I would love to. Tell Netflix to call me. I will be there with bells on.
Right. For real.
Yeah. So we do facials, waxing, body contouring, vajacials, which is a facial for your vagina, fanny facials, which is a facial for your butt.
Whoa, hold on. Rewind.
See, he is too interested with all this butt stuff. He wanted to come get his butt
I
done.
kind of was okay with the facial for the J, but the facial for the fanny, like what's that?
So a lot of people who have they get like butt acne,
Mm-hmm.
and so it helps with
You
that.
talking about? Mm-hmm.
I've seen it.
You get butt acne.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
You just told on yourself.
You've seen that. Obviously, I ain't seen my own. The fuck?
So a lot of people have butt acne. It looks like they call it it's keratosis pilaris is the technical name of it, but it looks like little chicken skin, and they have it on their butt. And fanny facials can help alleviate that and make it look better and smoother. We can also do peels back there. If you used to have bumps and then they turned into dark spots, we can do peels back there. So what else we do? Obviously, we do lashes. Brandy is an amazing lash artist. My lashes.
Shout out Brandy. Shout out Brandy.
Brandy is an amazing lash artist. We have a couple of massage therapists. So like on
They're
our
great
website,
as well. You got a couple.
men and women, if you feel comfortable with one or the other.
Okay.
So we have packages that you can get online, and it'll include like a facial massage and V-steam, or facial massage and wax. So spending that time we're open 6 days a week except Tuesdays. We decided to open on Mondays because we do service a lot of people in the beauty industry, and that's their day off. So that helps a lot. But taking that time to just, we as women and as people take on so many other people's problems. We rarely leave time for ourselves. So even if you don't have anything wrong with your skin, it could absolutely look better after a facial. Just brighter, smoother, cleaner, obviously, because we're going to clean the pores out. And then it just feels amazing when you take in those few minutes just to get away from your phone, close your eyes, and let somebody work on and improve your skin. It's amazing.
Okay. Well, owning a face and body spa, who do you get your services done here too, or do you go somewhere? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to go to, so a couple of my Besties are the 𝕤𝕠𝕟𝕚𝕢𝕦𝕖 𝕠𝕟𝕠𝕟. I used to go to her for waxing, but I used to feel some kind of way about my estheticians waxing me, but now I'm like, child, they gonna see it. Now it don't matter.
Right.
So, is it just a matter of them seeing it, or is it a matter of them, maybe they like, hey, she's short a couple?
No.
My check was late. A little extra time a little bit.
No. Waxing by Aqua is another one. She taught me
she's big. I've seen her.
Yeah, she taught me the one pull method. She taught me that, like, without even charging or anything. I used to go get her wax, and she's like, this is how you gotta do it, and you do it this way and this way and this way. So she taught me that.
Shout out Aqua.
Shout out to Aqua. Waxing by Aqua. So those are some of my Besties, but I get most of my services done here now.
Okay.
But if I'm in a pinch, I'll definitely go to them if like one of my Besties isn't available.
Okay. So you mentioned what do you say? Besties?
Bestie. That's the thing that we all use in the aesthetics community. My Bestie is the facial queen. Hi, Sophia.
Hey, shout out Sophia.
In Winter Haven.
Okay.
And she is
Connecticut?
Winter Haven.
Oh, Winter Haven, Florida.
This dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
So this is somebody
wanna go
that
home
you can
so
talk
bad.
to if you're like, you can lean on each other. You attend trade shows together. She has taught me a lot. I've taught her a couple of things. But that's the person that in the aesthetics world that you can kind of lean on. Maybe not your best friend in real life, but your Bestie.
So if you got the Besties, do y'all have like the ops, the ops?
I don't know about all of that.
Come on now, you know they out there. Who would you say is your biggest
What's
competition?
their logo colors?
Oh,
we ain't
come
gonna
on.
drop no name. What their logo colors are.
It's horrible.
Okay, well yeah, that's all I got.
Leave it alone. we service a different type of clientele, and we attract a different type of clientele.
I like that. Okay.
And I like to keep it that way.
Absolutely.
And was that always in the marketing plan to kind of, because like I said, you do have your tiers. Let's just be honest. You have your low tier and your higher tiers. I feel like you're at that higher tier. Was it like always like that? Did you start off like that, or?
No, I had to learn along the way. I remember when I was pricing my services. Okay, so the photo booth taught me to price your service when you're new 10% of the median of your 3 competitors, 10% below. So find 3 competitors, add them up, whatever that price is, make it 10% below that.
I don't believe in that method, but
I don't either now. Yeah.
That was when you was learning though.
Yeah. But when I came up with that number, quite often I felt like it was high. I was like, $70 for a facial? I'm not paying $70 for a facial. So I remember when I first started, my facial was $55. So then remember that conversation I was just telling you about with the lady that owned Beer Garden, and she was like, cost per service.
Yeah, correct.
And when I started figuring that out, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm working an hour and a half to make $24.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so I very quickly, in my Bestie, Sophia, she was like, girl, she's Spanish. She's like, girl.
Girl.
Girl, $55? You crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy.
I don't know. No, Monique. So it wouldn't work. So she was like, you need to fix your pricing. And so I think when I did adjust my pricing, that helped attract a different type of client. But they also didn't feel like it was expensive. even with my skincare, I remember when I was getting Lyra clinical, and I was like, wait a minute. So when I sell this bottle of cleanser, it's gonna be $48. I ain't paying $48 for no bottle of cleanser. And these women, even black women,
People will pay for
Somebody
something
gonna pay for it. Exactly.
like nothing. I remember the retinol cream was like $112. I was like, it's never gonna sell. Sold out.
Sold out. Yeah.
Sold out. So you got to get out of your own mind sometime. And
not necessarily our own mind. I think even sometimes like our close friends too.
Yeah.
Like they'll tell you,
Yeah, you taxing, bro. Ain't nobody gonna buy that. That costs too much.
But it's so many people out here in this world, and so many, like, that's why I tell people all the time, we're working with small business owners and upcoming, like, don't lower your price just because you think,
right.
you know what I'm saying, somebody not going to buy it. So there's somebody out there that's going to buy your services, whether it's expensive or whatever. It's always a market for you. You just need to tap into that market.
That's it.
So that's awesome.
Then these estheticians that are out here with these $20 and $30 waxes, no, girl. Like, let me get Sophia for a minute. You are devaluing our business. You will ultimately, if you keep it like that and other people start coming in like that, you will drive the market prices down. So charge your worth and, make sure that you're making a profit off of each of your services, not just to get a customer in the door. It's not about how many customers come through the door. It's about the quality of the service they get, and your profit margins matter.
Definitely.
I was gonna say, in those $30, $40 treatments usually result in $30, $40 results, right?
Period.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And going off of that, piggybacking off of that, earlier I know you were saying like in Florida it's only 200 and some hours to get your certification, but you did like over 1,000. So like I've always heard like you're not really a professional at nothing or anything unless you put 10,000 hours into something.
Oh yeah.
So even like me just knowing that and hearing that, someone only going to school for 200, you ain't even touched the surface
at all
of what the whole, you know what I'm saying, pie is.
Yeah, I agree.
To even be able to give you that service.
I didn't go through $1,000 or 1,000-hour course or anything, but I took advanced
But then the
classes,
more advanced, that's what I'm saying, and then now you being able to teach that as well. So.
Absolutely. So for my training, I do advanced classes in Brazilian waxing, and one of the things that's really, really hard for black people, melanated people, whatever color, anybody with the color in their skin, is chemical peels. Especially in school, you don't learn that a lot at all. And knowing how to properly apply chemical peels and when to apply them and getting the skin ready for it. So that's one of the advanced classes that I have, chemical peels and microneedling, and with a focus on multicultural and ethnic skin. What else do I have classes in? Waxing, steam, body contouring, microneedling, and chemical peels. Right now, those are my only advanced classes. But pretty soon, speaking it into existence, 𝕬𝕠𝕟𝕚 Academy will be a 300-hour esthetician school to better prepare people who want to be an esthetician.
Raising the bar.
That's it. Be an esthetician. And they'll have they'll work in a real spa environment. So, yeah.
That's cool.
I'm excited.
Okay.
OC?
I mean, that's all I got. I don't know what else you got. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. You have anything else? If not, just you can tell people where to find you, your name again, the address, your social media handles.
Sure. So I am also, one of the last things I wanted to say is I'm a big proponent of supporting other black owners or black businesses, or any business for that matter. You do not have to be black. But like my massage therapist, his name is Jude. He wrote a book. We have the book in the front for sale. I have one of my clients that is an artist. I have her paintings on the wall with cards for you to be able to contact her.
Definitely.
One of my other clients sells like lash strips. I have those in the front. So if you are a business owner and you want to get a little bit more exposure, I am happy to have your products be displayed in our spa. We also have a room here, which we're in right now. It's a training room, but it's also available. Thank you. If you are doing a small training event and you need a room to do that in, I would say it fit 10 people seated, but standing probably a little bit more, especially a classroom style lecture. If you wanted to do it, you could do that here as well. And if you wanted to do a pop-up shop, like I had one girl come and bring all of her clothes in here one time and set them up like a retail boutique.
Tight.
And that
That's
was
tight.
really, really nice. So that is something that is available. I want to help you grow in the world and your business, and we can work together to do that.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that. And you said tell them where to find me and all that.
The address, social media handles.
Yes. So we're located at 707 West Fletcher. I like to say we're close to 𝕬𝕚. I know everybody's heard of 𝕬𝕚 Country Club or Air Community, but we're on the other side of Fletcher, the Carrollwood side, not the not the side over there, the Carrollwood side. I remember one client was like, "You on Fletcher?" I was like, "Oh my god."
West Fletcher. That's all you gotta say. West Fletcher.
West Fletcher. Some people still don't get it. She's like, "You on Fletcher?" Like, oh my god. But anyway, it's a nice, right? When you walked in, it didn't
Beautiful.
seem like you
Yeah.
felt
No,
safe.
I've been here before. I had massages here,
Yes.
so
Okay.
definitely.
Real nice
So-
area.
I was
Though.
definitely out the hood. I mean,
707
Yeah.
West Fletcher. You'll be safe, no problems. And follow us on Instagram. It's just Lux Face and Body on Instagram. And our phone number you can text or call is 813-536-7005.
That's right. That's right. And do you have a website or anything they go to do bookings?
www.luxfaceandbodystudio.com because
Okay.
just Lux Face and Body wasn't available to mine. New Jersey had it. So luxfaceandbodystudio.com.
we're gonna find whoever that is in New Jersey.
Yes.
And we need that.
We
website.
need that.
We can't be rocking with the studio.
We need that.
Definitely. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
We
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
And this is another episode by any means. We out.
We out of here.